Welcome to Awaken the Mind, the NLP and Hypnosis Guide, hosted by David Uhas.
You're listening to Awaken the Mind, the NLP and Hypnosis Guide, a podcast that inspires the curious to the professional to discover meaningful content and pursue their passions. My name is David Uhas, and I'm a master NLP practitioner and hypnotist, best known for losing over 100 pounds and running 6 marathons in 2 years. And I'm sitting down with hypnotists, NLP practitioners, and coaches to talk about their process, the lessons they've learned, and how to make an impact in the lives of others. Our guest today is Minling Chuang, and she is the co-founder of Fame for Good and founder of Brand Fame. Not only is she an entrepreneur at heart, but she's also a geek about all things branding. As brand marketing strategist and mentor, she has worked with solopreneurs, small businesses, consulting companies, and big brands to strategically market and position them so they become an eye-popping it brand that turn heads. She has 10 plus years of experience in branding and marketing, working on top brands such as Nestle Toll House, Lean Cuisine, and Toyota. While at Nestle, she even launched a $54 million product for Lean Cuisine that won Product of the Year. Her passion is to help female small business owners uncover their unique message so they can rapidly build a list of raving fans eager to buy along the way. Minling holds an MBA from Indiana University and a BA from the University of Southern California. She has also been featured on Forbes, The Huffington Post, Thrive Global, BuzzFeed, numerous podcasts, and spoken at various conferences. And please give our guest today, Minling Chuang, a warm welcome. Hello, Minling.
Hi, thank you for having me so much.
Oh, thank you for being here and taking some of your time to be with us. I know our guests are looking forward to listening today.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here.
So you're in California, and where?
I'm in Los Angeles, California. So yeah, sunny California.
And what's the weather and temperatures like there this time of year?
Right now it's pretty comfortable. It's like the mid to upper 70s. This summer has been a little bit cooler than normal. So usually we're like in the 80s by now, and last month it was kind of cold. So cold for our standards.
Well, I am excited to get into everything about you, reading over your bio. Very successful and fascinating young woman. Can you tell me about, before we get there, tell me about yourself growing up.
Yeah, so I grew up in California. I was an only child, and I was actually really, really shy when I was growing up. So I was one of those people that had close friends, but was a bit of a wallflower, if you will. And so I kept to myself, and it wasn't until after high school, when I went to college, that I decided that I did not want that identity anymore. And I was like, no, I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to like make more friends and really like push myself out there. And so that was a pivotal point for me and me stepping up into my leadership ability. I became president of our spirit committee my sophomore year. I was in student senate, program board, and all the different clubs, in a business fraternity. Like I just went overboard on my leadership. I pendulum swung the other way, but it was a great learning experience for me. So yeah, so that was pretty much my childhood in a nutshell, but
Well, I'm fascinated that you used to be a shy person. And of course, sometimes shy people can still do so much, but what about somebody that's listening that might be experiencing shy and not believe they can come out of that shell? Can you offer any advice, or what are some things that they can do to excel?
Yeah, in my experience, it's really deciding that you want to break out, because everything that we create for ourselves that is happening in our life, we create it. It's all based off of like subconscious beliefs, and it's just what we've told ourselves over time. And so I literally shifted my identity. I remember distinctly saying, I no longer want to be shy. I want to be seen as a leader. And I entered college and I was like, nope, I'm the leader. So it's pretty much breaking down my old identity and creating a new identity, which is something that I also do in my current life right now. Always looking at where I can grow and what identity I can let go of and what I can step into.
Cool. So what led you to what you're doing now? Share with us. You've got so much going on. You're a writer. You do branding and marketing, and talk about what you do.
So I went to grad school in Indiana. I studied and got my MBA and studied specifically around consumer marketing. And that's where it led me to Nestle. And I worked on both the Toll House and the Lean Cuisine brand. And it gave me so much great experience since I was able to watch how to launch products, watch how branding works for large scale companies. I was in charge of, like you said, a product launch that won product of the year and made $54 million. And it was one of the most innovative products up to that point for the company, which is really exciting and fun and fascinating to work with. But during that time, I also fell in love with yoga and spirituality. And we went on a trip to Nepal. And that trip really changed my life and changed my outlook in life. We were working with an orphanage that had kids that were, indentured servants, or basically, so were rescued from being indentured servants, which means slavery. They were sold into slavery by their families. And they also had other kids who didn't have parents that could take care of them. So it was a non-adoption orphanage started by an American, and he provided the best school care. So they went to private schools. These kids had a loving support system. They had, meals. They had all the, medical bills, medical stuff taken care of. And when I met these kids, I thought I was going to go in there and be like, oh yeah, you can do it. Like you're good. Like encourage them. What happened was I all of a sudden started breaking down crying when I met them, because all these kids were the happiest kids I've ever met in my entire life. They had dreams of being like doctors, astronauts, teachers. And it was in that moment I distinctly remember I had a thought in my head that said, when did I stop dreaming? Like what made me stop dreaming of what I wanted to do and my purpose in life? And I always felt like there was more than just working for a corporate job and a corporate business, although it was really interesting. I just always felt like there was more. So that shifted me into this entrepreneur path, where I started to look at, okay, what do I really want to do? How do I want to serve the world? What can I do to best help other people? And that's what led me to what I'm currently doing right now, which is with two companies. My business partner and I have a company called Spain for Good, and we are a heart-based agency where we help our clients build authority brands. What this means is building brands that automatically put you as an expert, automatically make you seen and visible and credible as an expert in the industry. So we do this through authority websites and also PR as well, because if you have good PR from larger publications, you automatically build credibility. And if your brand also exudes a special uniqueness to it that stands out in the market, again, you build that credibility. So we focus more on helping our clients who are mostly heart-centered entrepreneurs who are here to make a difference on the planet, who are not just in it for the money, but want to make a big impact in the world. We help those clients really heighten their level of authority in the market. So it's been a lot of fun.
Cool. You brought something up about the branding. What's the distinction, or is there a distinction between branding and marketing?
There's an absolute distinction. So they work hand in hand together. The way that I like to describe it is branding is it's an experience that people have around you. So it's the perception that they have around your personality, how you make them feel. Marketing is a way to go ahead and share with people what you do. So there's a little bit of a distinction there. And then also people confuse branding with branding being a website, branding being a logo, branding being a graphic, which is not the case, because coming from my background at Nestle and being a brand strategist, branding again is how you make people feel. It's a perception. It's the experience that they have with you, because, somebody could have, let's say Apple. Somebody could have a really recognizable brand, quote unquote, with the logos and the website, but people have different experiences of Apple. Some people hate Apple. Some people love Apple. So it's all like how you are perceived in the market is, what describes a brand. And you use branding tactics, which are the logos, graphics, and the experiences that you create to increase that level of experience of you with your customer. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And when I first reached out to someone about branding, they gave me like 10 pages of things to fill out that really, it felt like a life coach asking questions to really get clear on what it was and how I wanted to brand myself. What are some tips that you could give somebody that's looking at like pre-work before they come to a branding agency?
Yeah, that's a great question, because you definitely need to know what it is that you want and are looking for before you go to an agency. And that's why I also feel like don't just go to a designer as well too, because a designer might have their own style or own look and feel, but that doesn't mean it's really branded to who you are. So the first thing is really understanding your message and who you are and what you do. Like, how are you different in this world? Because that will start to guide you in the way that you want to show up, what you want on your site. The other thing that I also look at is looking at your core values and what you believe in too. So are there values that are very important for you? So for example, let's go to Apple. Apple, the values are innovation and simplicity. You can see that across the board, like that everything they do is all around innovation and making things very simple for the user and very simple in the design as well too. So that's part of their core values. If you look at, Harley Davidson, their values are around freedom. And so everything they do is around this like freedom of, being on the road, being free, no inhibitions and all that stuff. If you look at Nike, even, like their core pillars are around greatness, inspiration, and innovation. And you can see that in their ads. They align themselves to the top athletes. They have a saying that says, if you are an athlete, if you have a body, you are an athlete. And then all their products help their athletes perform better to be the great. So you can start to see, if you like dissect how other brands and are positioning themselves in the market, you can start to see that they have certain values that they are rallying their brand around. So really get clear on your values that you bring to the table that makes you different. So for example, within Fame for Good, we value our clients as it's more of like a heart-based way of doing business. We believe that if we can help people do business who are here to change the world, change the planet, we can make this planet a better place. So our goal is to, touch 1 million lives through our clients and customers as well too, and have them change lives. So we're not just an agency to do branding. We have another mission that's a lot greater than, and more, our values are greater than just making a pretty website or creating a branded website, right?
Yeah.
And so start to look at your values. Also start to look at how you want to position yourself in the market. Like, what do you do that's different than everybody else that's out there? So you want to look at your competitors. Where's the white space in this? What is something that they're not doing that you can bring to the table that nobody else is doing? And I don't want people to think like, oh, I have to invent something new, but just look for opportunities where your clients are not being served yet. There might be some kind of niche or some kind of opportunity where your clients are not being served yet. And that's something that you can really focus in on as well.
Nice. So I hear this topic a lot around, should I go for an avatar and niching? And so can you talk about the value of being more specific? You kind of talked about it a little bit in your last, what you were just saying, but can you talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. So people are always looking for brands that they resonate with, that they have an affinity for. If you don't niche down, you become too broad and they don't identify with you. So when they see your stuff, because you're not talking about their pain points, because you're not relating to them, they'll start to be like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if this is right for me. And it's especially important when you're starting out as a small business. everybody wants to look at the big companies. So, well, Apple has such a broad target, or like, you know, Nike has such a broad target. Yes, they have a broad target, but they started somewhere. So Nike started with the running shoes. They got really good and niched down and became the expert in the running shoe department before they started to branch out to other areas, and then they could grow their audiences. But you can still see that they have a lot of different niches, like Nike for tennis, Nike for golf, you know, Nike for basketball. They still niche down because people are still looking for something that speaks to them. Like a basketball player is not going to want just a regular tennis shoe that you play tennis with, or a running shoe, right? So you still have to talk to the person within your niche for them to resonate with you, for them to actually want to purchase from you, because they have to feel like, oh, you get me. And so because you get me, I want to work with you.
Yeah. And being authentic to who you are.
Yes.
That's going to come out, isn't it?
100%. So what I see, you know, in the market, especially it's an entrepreneurial world, especially with newer entrepreneurs, is that they see their coaches or their mentors and they're like, I just want to be like them. So they try to emulate them. But authenticity, you can't fake. People feel your energy. People can feel the energy of your brand. And so you want to be as authentic as possible, as real as possible. Otherwise, people can see right through that because they can feel that something is off. You know, you've probably experienced a fake, quote unquote, person, you know, like in some kind of social setting, you're like, oh, I don't know if I trust that person.
Right.
That will be the same vibe that you're going to be giving off if you are not true to who you are and what you believe. And so that's why when we do our branding for our clients, we really look at who our clients are, what resonates with them, what are they trying to say, what do they believe in, and we're not pushing our own agenda on them, but rather listening to them and understanding what it is that makes them happy and what lights them up and what they're most authentic about.
And it's obvious that you are passionate about all this stuff because I can tell you're getting excited.
Yeah, that's why I say I'm a geek about branding. I've been studying it for so many years, and I talk about it so much because I'm like, I just want people to understand what it is. So there's so much misconception out there on what it is.
I'd like to share with you one of my trainings I went to. We were learning rapport, and if I had not seen this, I wouldn't have believed it. It was spooky. We broke off into groups of, and I've told the story many times, where we broke off into groups of 3 people, and 2 people sat in chairs back to back, and the third person was an observer, and they were to have a conversation, a pretend conversation like they were on the phone. And their hands would come up to their face at the same time, and like in synchronicity. It was spooky. The rapport, they would cross their legs at the same time in the same direction, and they weren't looking at each other. And if you weren't the observer, you wouldn't know that. And what you were talking about with being authentic, it comes out. There's just something else going on, that energy that they feel.
Yeah, they definitely feel the energy. And that's why you want to really be clear on your message. And what I always say is like, what do you want to say? Like, what is your truth? What do you want to say? What do you want to share that's true to you? Because if it's true to you, it's probably going to be true to somebody else. And you don't want to just attract everybody as well, too, because they might not resonate with what you're saying. And it's okay if they don't resonate. They're just not the right clients for you. So it's all about magnetizing the right clients to you because you have a message that you really care about and believe in. That's what the magnetism is. And that's what attracts people to you to want to work with you.
Well, thank you for sharing. This is a really big topic, hot topic. Between the 2 camps, I want to do it all, and no, you want to be specific.
There is, you know, you also want to make sure you're not too niched where you're too specific too, where you're like micro niche down and then there's not enough people to service as well. So you want to keep that in mind, but definitely you want to niche down so people know how to find you, you know. And I feel like I always use this example. I feel like when you are niched down and you are an expert in that field, people actually pay you more. It's like you pay a neurosurgeon more than a general surgeon, right? Because they're working on your brain and you don't want them to mess that up.
Yeah, right.
And they've taken so many more years of like training to make sure that they know how to do that.
Well, share with us about Forbes magazine, and also, is it Mind Valley? You do some writing.
Yes, well, Mind Valley is a little bit newer. So Forbes, yes, I'm a contributor for them. I'm on their LA Business Council, and I wrote an article for them. I'm about to write another article for them as well too. It's been a lot of fun to just share again my expertise. And then with Mind Valley, that's a newer engagement for me. And so I was approved to be one of their writers. So I'm working on an article for them that will probably be out within the next few weeks as well too. But that also, again, came organically, right? So it's like I just happened to talk to some people about it, and it wasn't like I was seeking it out. I wasn't like, how do I become a writer? They could feel my energy and passion for what it is that I want to talk about and what I want to write about. And because of that, the person that I was talking to went ahead and said, like, do you want to write for Mind Valley? And I was like, oh, okay. So it wasn't like I was like trying to like bang down doors to get in. It was just an organic conversation I was having with somebody and just sharing what I did. And we were just exchanging, information, and one thing led to the next.
Oh, it's exciting.
Yeah.
So share with us what's on your bucket list. Some traveling to the last continent. Is that correct?
Yeah, I want to travel to Antarctica. So that's the last continent on my list. I haven't been there. I've been to 6 out of the 7 continents. So I definitely want to go there. And then I also want to go to South Africa. I've been to Morocco, so I count that as my African continent, but I do want to go to like South Africa, or I actually also want to go to Kilimanjaro. That's another one on my bucket list as well. But yeah.
I know that successful people are constantly re-educating themselves. So I make up that you do that as well. Do you have some favorite writers or books or people that you tune into?
That's a great question. I constantly do a lot of self-development. I have different mentors from all different fields. So it really depends on what I am working on. Some really good books to begin with that I absolutely loved when I was first on my journey was Think and Grow Rich and The Science of Getting Rich. I actually like The Science of Getting Rich way more than Think and Grow Rich. It just made more sense to me. There's also another book of the 12 Spiritual Laws of the Universe, or the 12 Laws of the Universe. I really love that. It really made sense in terms of like how things operate within just how society and how things are naturally operating. For example, the law of giving and receiving, and understanding the energy dynamics behind that. And are you open to receive? Are you open to give? Because if you're not open to both, like, energy doesn't flow through. So a lot of energy work as well has been a hot topic of mine. So yeah, it really depends. Right now, what's been interesting to me is understanding quantum flow and quantum energies and the energetic fields in the quantum as well. So this is like way out there, but since you asked, that's what I'm most interested right now. And then of course I'm always interested in learning for how to continue to grow my business and my brand, and learn new techniques, learn new strategies. We're always learning. I love our team at Fame for Good because we have really great team members that also are experts in their field. So for example, for PR, we have a wonderful lead publicist, and I'm always learning from her as well too on booking different engagements, and for myself and also for our clients. And it's been fun to watch, and different strategies of how to put together the right template so that you get noticed by the editors, how to go ahead and position yourself in the way that you write to showcase your expertise, to have people want to learn more about you. So those have been, internal learnings as well too.
I love Napoleon Hill, by the way. I just love his work. That other book that you mentioned, like
Science of Getting Rich?
Yes. Is that Napoleon Hill also?
No, it's by Wallace Wattles.
Wallace Wattles. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. Yeah,
I really love that book. That one did it for me, like more than Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich is good, but for me, it just made more sense. Yeah, nice. I love that book.
So do you have any favorite clients, or who do you attract? I know you're very intentional about who you attract. Can you share
Yeah.
with who are your clients?
So our clients are, again, heart-centered entrepreneurs who are here to make a big difference in this world, and are looking to make an impact. You know, as you make an impact, you'll also make the income. So that's our philosophy, and we really want to focus on people that care about others. And so our clients are mostly coaches and consultants that have their own businesses, that are solopreneurs, or have a small team. They are typically, they can range. So we have some entrepreneurs that are newer, but typically for branding and for the PR, entrepreneurs that have been in business for a couple of years, have some level of revenue and income, but are looking to take their business to the next level. Because with the authority websites and authority branding, when people see how you positioned yourself, they're actually going to want to go ahead and sign up to work with you even more, and you can charge premium rates. That actually happened with my business partner. She rebranded herself, because we both co-own this business, but we also have our separate businesses. But when she rebranded, she made $500,000 within I think 6 months or so, from where she was, and then when she rebranded. So we know the power of branding. I've seen that for myself as well, and seen that within Fame for Good. And so we just love to help heart-centered entrepreneurs who are here to make a difference get more credibility on their PR, so they're seen as an expert, and then also within their brand and website as well.
Do you have any trainings that are coming up?
They're all, if you go to fameforgood.com, there's different trainings and programs, and you can look at our services. So we have a couple of different things. One, we have our Fame program, which teaches entrepreneurs or anybody who has a business how we get PR for our businesses. Again, my business partner, she was on 50 podcasts in 60 days as well. So we have actually a free guide on how to do that, or how she did that as well. So that's also on our site. So the Fame program, it's currently running, and it's around how to get publicity in your business so that you can increase the level of awareness for your business and the level of credibility. We also have Differentiate, which teaches entrepreneurs how to go ahead and build authority brands themselves, and what they need to focus on. So it's not just the websites and not just the logos, but we go into the messaging and really understanding your client avatar and all that stuff. So that's the second one. And then we also have our done for you PR services and our done for you branding services as well, where the done for you PR, we actually pitch people and our clients to different outlets to get them on more outlets. We actually landed one of our clients on Oprah magazine. So that was really exciting. Yeah, so that was really, really exciting. We've also landed some on Thrive Global and a couple of other ones. So that's what we do. And then for the authority website, we work closely with you to really understand what your brand is about, who you are, what your message is, and build a website that's custom to you, which is great because it's not templatized. It's not something that, you can get anywhere else on I don't know, a theme building site or whatever. We custom build your website. So it is custom to you, and it's an authority website.
Okay. I've got one more question for you.
Yeah.
Can you talk about perception as reality?
Can I talk about perception as reality? That's 100% true. So however we perceive the world, that creates what we see back in our reality and what we experience. So it's kind of like, everybody uses the car example. If you think about a red Porsche, you start seeing the red Porsche everywhere. So it's the same thing. So if we think we can be successful, then we are successful. If we believe, not just think, if we believe and have a deep knowing that we are successful, then we can be successful. If we have subconscious blocks and beliefs that are contrary to that, then that's what shows up in our reality. So I love looking at reality as our mirror to ourselves in our lives. So if something's not working out in our life, we can be like, how did I cause that? where are my blocks with that, and start to transform and start to shift those beliefs and create a new reality. So I love perception as reality. I mean, like I said, I do all this energy work. I have been studying this for a long time as well. That's my other love besides branding.
Well,
it goes hand in hand.
Well, it's cool stuff. It's like resisting it makes it hard, but then when you just accept it, actually, you get to choose that perception.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, it's taking responsibility that like, hey, I chose this at one point in my life to have this reality, and it actually gives us power when we are able to choose, because then we're not victims of the circumstances. We actually get to powerfully choose and create our new reality as well too. So if you're in a situation that you don't like, just be like, okay, I accept this. This happened in my life, and I get it. This is something I chose, not even consciously, but I chose on some degree. And now I get to shift it. How empowering is that?
How can our listeners get a hold of you? What's the best way?
So they can go to our website, fameforgood.com. If they scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a couple of free resources. Like I mentioned, the 50 podcasts in 60 days. There's things around, I'm just pulling it up right now. There's a free media pitch template. There's a price negotiation response template. There's also a free resource around how we landed a $15,000 client in 48 hours of launching our website. So there's a lot of good free resources, and you can take a look at fameforgood.com, and it's FOR, not the number 4 is what I'm trying to say, FAMEFORGOOG or GOD.com. I can't spell without writing. I'm like closing my eyes trying to spell.
Well, I'll make sure to put the links on there.
Thank you.
Well, Minling, thank you so much for being here. It has been a joy, and obviously you're very passionate about this and also very successful. And today was very valuable for our listeners. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
Thank you for joining us today with Awaken the Mind, hosted by David
Relax. Awaken the mind. You need to understand. If you can't, you must. And if you must, you can. Now that I got you, let me put you in a trance. Got you feeling hypnotic. Your mind, let me massage it. Your thoughts are getting quiet. Your stress subsiding. You starting to see images, but it ain't no mirages. Think it's time to calibrate. Take a breath and concentrate. Get into your subconscious. Time to feel the energy, the brain waves. Let's go deep into your memory. Beware of self. Let the worries melt. All you see is you and you don't see no one else. Auditory digital, talking to yourself. It might seem bizarre, a feeling you never felt. This is your time to shine. Awaken the mind, the NLP and hypnosis guide. Yeah.